Good evening, Anthony with Bleacher Bums Gaming, and we are coming to you from Palace of the Fans in Cincinnati for the second game of a doubleheader played September 26, 1908 between the Reds and the Giants. The Giants won the first game of this doubleheader and will look to get the sweep, which they did in real life, to remain a half game back of the Cubs as we close down the home stretch of our 1908 pennant race. And tonight's batteries for the Reds, making his second appearance in the replay, Jean Dubuc is on the mound catching Larry McLean. And for the Giants, they will send Red Ames to the hill, and catching for the Giants is Roger Bresnahan. Al Red Sox fan, welcome, my friend. Join us at the ballpark, my good buddy. Check out that great channel. Doing some football tournaments, and actually just watched earlier his wrestling tournament. I forgot the name of the game again, Al, if you can put it in the chat. But excellent matchup between Ric Flair and Dick the Bruiser. And as I mentioned, looking forward to Shawn Michaels taking on Abdullah the Butcher in that one. And our good friend B.R. Wells, welcome, Bruce. So let's get to our lineups for the visiting Giants. Visiting Reds. It's going to be Dick Bayless in right, future Yankee skipper Miller Huggins at second, Hans Lopert at short, Bob Bescher in left, Dick Hoblitzel at first, Mike Mowry at the hot corner, Dode Pasker in center, and as mentioned, the battery McLean behind the plate and Dubuc on the mound. For the homestanding Giants looking to complete the sweep, it's Fred Tenney at first, Buck Herzog at second, Roger Bresnahan behind the plate, Turkey Mike Donlin, married to vaudeville starlet Mabel Height. They were the first baseball glamour couple long before A-Rod and J-Lo. Cy Seymour in center, Art Devlin at third, Moose McCormick in left, Al Bridwell at short, and Red Ames on the mound. We are set to go. We're going to roll for our stuff. So Dubuc rolls his throws his bullpen check into the bleachers. We'll do it again. He's got his regular or B-grade stuff. And Red Ames is going to have his C-grade stuff, which means we will recheck him in the fourth inning to see if he regains his composure. Wrestling's finest. Thank you very much. That looks like a fun game and very easy to play as well, as we are underway here. And 43, Tenney going against Dubuc's normal stuff is going to draw a walk. I'm all jacked up. Never mind. Don't mind me. 43, Ames pitching to Bayless. And 43, even with terrible stuff, that's going to be an out. So you see the difference there. It'll be a line drive to center field. One down, as making that play without moving more than a couple of feet is Cy Seymour. And that brings up the minuscule or Lilliputian Miller Huggins. And Huggins, he's going to draw a 45, and that's going to be an out as well off of Ames' card. A fly ball into deeper center field. Going back a few steps to pull that in, once again, is Seymour with the second out of the inning. And next up for the Reds will be Hans Lopert, and again featured in the excellent book Glory of Their Times, also available on audiobook, which I would highly recommend. 36 is going to be a single on a 1-4, and it is a 2, so Lopert has a little 2-out lightning going for the Reds, and that brings up Bob Bescher, the cleanup hitter. And Bescher, 272 in 1908, and that's going to be the end of the inning, however, as he grounds that back to the pitcher. And Ames, short throw to Tenney, and side is retired. The Reds get a hit, leave one. We head to the bottom of the first inning, and it will be Tenney, Herzog, and Bresnahan for the Giants. Dubuc pitching off his regular column, and that's going to be an out, a fly ball into center field. A lot of fly balls to center field early in this one. And Dode Paskert's going to run that down for the Reds. One down, Buck Herzog, the second baseman, a Giant stalwart back in the early days of the 20th century. And 53, that is going to go to the error chart. And that will be a actually range chart, potential range play for the shortstop, and a range of 6 for the Reds. Hans Lopart is a 5, so that nips off his glove, and that's going to be an infield single. So Herzog on for the Giants, 1 down, Bresnahan the batter. Here comes a pitch, and Bresnahan gets into that and just misses a triple. Is cutting that off in the gap in center field is Paskert. And 1-3, and it's going to be a hold at second base as Herzog had to wait to see if that was going to be caught. So the Giants, runners on first and second, 1 down, looking to break out of the box early in this one. Dick Hoblitzel will be the batter, and Mike Donlin. And for Donlin, that's going to be a single. So second to home scores on a weak or average arm. And in center field for the Reds, Paskert, he has a strong arm. So he's going to hold Herzog at third. Bases are going to be loaded here in the first inning. And the Giants threatening a big inning to open the game. Dubuc needs a clutch play here, 42, and that is not going to happen as he walks in the first run of the ball game. Coming in to score is Herzog. And Dubuc in his other start in this replay also had some control issues. So the Giants break out to a 1-0 lead and an RBI the easy way for Herzog as Art Devlin steps up to the plate. And 25, that's going to be an out. Infield is at double play depth with 1 out. The right-handed hitter, that's a ground ball to shortstop, and base is full. Fielder's choice at second. And if the runner at first is an F, which Seymour is not, he would have been safe. It's going to get the second run home as Bresnahan trots across the plate. Going to third base is Donlin, and erased at second is Seymour. Art Devlin, fielder's choice RBI. Giants up to a 2-0 lead. They won this game 3-1 in real life. Ames threw a 3-hitter. As McCormick steps up, and that's going to be the inning as Dubuc finally gets out of that. A line drive into center field. Paskert charging hard, pulls that in, and the Giants are retired, but not before they get 2 runs on 3 hits. And they leave 2 as we head to the second inning. 2-0, New York up, and it is going to be Hoblitzel, Mowry, and Paskert for the Reds. And Red Ames, again, with terrible stuff. He's going to give up a single to lead off the inning for Hoblitzel. Ames hoping to get to the 4th inning where he can re-roll for his stuff. 42 and 42. That's going to be a walk. So Giants pitching, not handling their good fortune well with a 2-0 lead. Paskert. And Paskert, he is a 5 sacrifice. He's going to lay down a bunt to take away the double play, and he cannot get that down. So now he's going to have to hit away. And doubles now become out, so misfortune there. 53, that's going to be a range play. And range play is going to be a right fielder. In right field for the Giants is Mike Donlin. He has a range of 11 and 15. That is going to drop. And base hit to right, 1-3 advances, and second to home, weak advance. And average or strong arm with a risk. There's nobody out, so we're going to hold the bases loaded there. As Donlin in right, he has a average arm, so it would have been a 50-50 shot, but they're going to play safe, and Larry McLean is going to have a chance to get the Reds on the board and back in this ball game. Here comes a pitch. And 51, we're going to have a defensive check. And that's going to be a shortstop error check, and it's short for the Giants. Bridwell, he has an error rating of 9, and he is going to make that play. And that is going to end up being a fielder's choice, however. So Hoblitzel comes in to score. Going to third is Mowry. Erased at second base is Paskert. And the Reds have shaved it to a 2-1 lead, and the pitcher spot up. Jean Dubuc, 1 down, runners at the corners, and 22, swing and a miss. Dubuc, about anyone else that would have been good. but 2 down, and Red Ames, a big bullet dodge there as they go back to the top of the order. Dick Bayless, the batter. Here comes the pitch, and 21, Dubuc, or Ames, breaks off that curveball, freezes Bayless. Strike 3 called, and side is retired. So 2 hits and a run for Cincinnati as we head to the bottom of the second inning. It's 2-1, Giants in the lead. And a Reds baseball indeed. Brandon Baker has joined us just in time to watch his favorite team rally back. And our good friend RJL 518, Robert, check out that great channel. Welcome to the ballpark, guys. And 19, okay, I knew that was getting released, so that is now available, which means I will be ordering that. Probably one of the more underrepresented seasons in any, well, most dead ball seasons are, but 1912, a great season, great World Series between the Red Sox and the Giants. So I'll definitely be ordering that to add to this collection. As leading off is Bridwell, and we're going to get a range check on the third baseman. And pretty sure a 20 is well above Maury's range, so we're going to have a leadoff single for Bridwell. Brings up the pitcher spot. And Ames is going to try and lay down a bunt. Sacrifice rating of 5. And that's going to get laid down to the first baseman and flips it to second covering. Runner advances to second. So 1 down and a runner in scoring position. And top of the order for John McGraw's fellows, looking to extend the lead to 3-1. Fred Tenney steps up. Here comes a pitch from Dubuc. And 36, that's going to be an out. Fly ball to center field. And on that, second to third will hold, so 2 down. And Buck Herzog, the Giants' second baseman, he singled and scored his first time up. Here comes a pitch, and 44, Herzog, he's going to drive that into the outfield. And that's going to be a base hit to left, second to home. With 2 outs, everybody scores, and we're going to have a stolen base attempt, too, for Herzog. And again, with the plus, there's several different stolen base rules, but the plus, you can either call them yourself and roll for a jump with each batter, or with the plus, it's an automatic attempt, and Herzog ran a lot. So that will be an automatic attempt as he gets the RBI single. And coming in to score is Bridwell, 3-1 Giants. And no adjustment to his steal rating, which is 15. Herzog is pretty solid, and he easily beats a throw. Larry McLean a bit high on that, so stolen base for Herzog. Giants again, runner in scoring position. Yeah, it's really it's tough to get in that era, especially. It's tough to get stolen bases and caught stealing. And of course, the big one for game makers is they have hitting splits back to 1908. At least Baseball Reference does, and pitching splits I don't believe come into play until like 1916 or 17. So yeah, it's tough to get pitching splits at all before 1920. So Bresnahan is a batter, and Bresnahan is going to rope that again, and 9 just misses out on a triple. And again, with 2 outs, that should be second to home, scores in all cases, and with a fast runner, that doesn't make any sense, actually. So we're going to have Herzog scoring. And that's an RBI single for Bresnahan. Giants jump out to a 4-1 lead. And again, they desperately need this game to stay within a half game of the Cubbies. Dubuc, 36, and that's going to be it. Mike Donovan's going to ground that down to shortstop. And nice play behind the bag by Hans Lopert. Whips it to first. Giants are set down, but they get 3 hits, 2 more runs. And we're heading to the top of the third, 4-1. It is all New York early in this one. And Mousy Dread, welcome, my friend. Hope you're having a good night. Miller Huggins set to lead it off against Ames, and 56. And that's going to go to the pitcher's card. That'll be a strikeout. So Ames, great strikeout pitcher for the era. You see all 50s are Ks on his card. Second strikeout in a row. And that brings up Hans Lopert. And in the book Glory of Their Times, when he was interviewed, very sad story. He was kind of destitute. He'd gotten hit by a car, Didn't even have a TV to watch the ball games as he draws a walk from Ames. So the author actually bought him a small 13-inch black and white so he could watch baseball in his flea-ridden hotel room that he lived in. Not exactly a pleasant picture of him, but great interview. Had a lot of great things to say. Seemed like a really nice guy, too, in the tape. As Bescher steps up, and 61, swing and a miss in Ames. That big bender, and Bescher swung over the top of that. 2 down, runner on first. First baseman Dick Hoblitzel, and that's going to do it as Hoblitzel drives that into left field, and plenty of room out there to haul that in. Moose McCormick with the play, and the Reds get a walk, leave 1. We head to the bottom of the 3rd. 4-1, Giants in the lead, and Cincinnati looking to get a good inning from Dubuc, who pitched much better his first time out. Here we go, 36 off of Dubuc's card, and that's going to be an out. He's rolled 3 of those as Seymour drives that into left field. Easy play out in left for Bob Bescher, 1 down, the speedy Bob Bescher. Led the league in stolen bases 1 time in his career with Cincinnati. Art Devlin the batter, and 1-4 will be a single. 5 is going to be a base on balls. So Devlin trots down to first, and John McGraw, he is ruthless. He's going to go for the throw, hit and run rating of A for McCormick. A roll of 8, check die roll 3-5, and that's going to be check 3-5 for a single, which would be off the pitcher's card, and it is not. So that's going to be a ground out to the second baseman, and runner will advance. So successful hit and run, and then it moved the runner up, and Al Bridwell, who singled and scored his first time up, will have a chance to get a ribby, and Bridwell does indeed. That's going to be a hard single into right field. Second to home scores, and fast runner first to third, and Bridwell okay, I guess that is a carryover from the top column. It didn't make sense the way it was listed on the card. But anyway, the Giants now lead at 5-1 as RBI single for Bridwell. And that brings up the pitcher, Red Ames, and Ames 2 down. He will swing away, and 23, and he'll swing away and miss. A strike called. And that's going to do it for the Giants. They get another run on a hit. We're through 3. It's 5-1, New York up. And Cincinnati, not a good hitting team in 1908, facing a uphill battle. And Captain Carl has joined us at Palace of the Fans, which was probably the coolest name of any of the old ballparks. And actually a fairly nice-looking ballpark if you've seen old pictures of it. And Ames, we're going to have another range play, and that's going to be a range play for the shortstop. And 14, that's way above Bridwell, and that's going to skip off his glove into left field for a leadoff single for Maury. Brings up Dode Tasker, the speedy center fielder. He'll go on to be a valuable part again of that 1914 Braves team, the Merkle Braves. It's going to be a defensive check, error check on the third baseman, and this is a 2-base error. So 17 at third base is Devlin. He actually has an error rating of 15. So by fate, he makes that play. And potential double play is going to be only at first base. So moving to second base is Maury. And a nice play on a ball that could have eaten him up at third base by Devlin. That brings up Larry McLean, the catcher. And 31, that has got to be a single. Sure enough, it is. And second to home scores if a weak or average arm, and that goes to right field. And Mike Donlin does indeed have an average arm, so crossing the plate is Maury, and the Reds claw back 1. It is now 5-2. Pitcher spot up, 1 out, and Dubuc, he has a healthy, robust 138 average, so he's going to lay down another bunt. And he does get this one down. Actually, that's his first bunt attempt. So sacrifice hit, and that's going to be played by the pitcher. And going to second base is McLean, and top of the order, Dick Bayless, the batter. Bayless, unfortunately, not much of a better hitter than the pitcher. He hit .225 in 1908 and 56. That's going to do it as he's rung up for the second time a high fastball by Ames. Side is retired. The Reds claw back a run on a couple of hits. We head to the bottom of the fourth, and an offensive slugfest for the dead ball error. 5-2, New York up. Fred Tenney to lead it off. And D. Scott Howard, our good friend, has joined us as well. Welcome to the ballpark for a little bit of dead ball action as 62 to Tenney, and that's going to be an out off of Dubuc's good, actually a strikeout on a roll of 1-4, which it's above. So that'll be a fly out to right field. And I forgot to re-roll for Ames stuff in the fourth. I'll do that now. And 15. Unfortunately, he's going to stay with terrible stuff for the rest of the game. So tough luck for Red. Good thing he has that 5-2 lead, as the next batter for the Giants is Buck Herzog, and 25 is going to be an out. Fly ball into left field in a routine play for Bescher for the Reds, 2 down. And Dubuc, looking for his first 1-2-3 inning of the game after a rough start, will face Roger Bresnahan. 46 is the pitch, and 46 is going to the ballpark. A roll of 6 at Palace of the Fans, right-handed batter. And that's going to be a foul ball. We will do it again. Dubuc resets. Here comes a pitch, and this is going to be a defensive check. And that's going to be a center field error check, roll of 4 on the die. And that is bad, as Paskert is a 9. He's going to drop that. So E8 puts a runner at first with 2 outs for the Giants, and our first error of the ball game. And is the dead ball error. Probably will not be the last. Mike Donald, the batter. 52, another defensive check, and this is going to be a shortstop error. In a roll of 1, a single base error, and that's going to be booted at shortstop by Lopert. So 2 straight errors, and the Giants in business. Runners at first and second, still 2 down. As our good friend Baseball Demos, Dave, has joined us for some dead ball action. IDJ would definitely be a Boston Royal rooter. Fits perfectly with him. Have you broken Fall Classic out at all or played extensively yet, Dave? I know you begrudgingly, I think, joined the club as 15. And that's going to end the inning as Cy Seymour is going to drive that one into left field. And a busy man out there is Bescher. 2 of the 3 putouts this inning as the Reds survive a couple of errors as we head to the top of the 5th. 5-2, Giants up. And for the Reds, we reach the halfway point. It's going to be Miller Huggins, Hans Lopert, and Bob Bescher. Here comes a pitch, and Huggins, that's going to draw a base on balls, and he's going to try and steal right away. So Hug, he is a 16. Bresnahan comes up throwing, and too big of a jump for Huggins. He's in there easily with a stolen base. So Cincinnati, nobody out, runner in scoring position, and not as of yet. And yes, hello to Tabby too. I really do think you'll like it when you finally do check it out, Dave. I really do. Minus, of course, the splits. As Lopert, he's going to be induced as a right-handed hitter to ground that down to third. And runner on second base is going to hold. So 5-3 on the putout, and Bob Bescher, the batter, the Reds cleanup hitter. He slugged .272 with no home runs in 1908. Stellar numbers for a cleanup guy. As 53, we're going to have a range check, and that's going to be on first base, 10. And at first base for the Giants, Fred Tenney is a 17, so he's going to get to that, make the play. Over to third goes Huggins. 3 unassisted on a fine play by Fred Tenney. And that's going to bring up the Reds' first baseman, Dick Hoblitzel. See if he can get his teammate in from third base, and 65. He's not going to get it done. That's going to be a shallow fly ball into center field. And coming in hard on the run, Seymour, underhanded catch, and that retires a side. So the Reds, no hits, no runs, no errors, one left as we head to the bottom of the fifth, halfway point of the ball game. Giants lead at 5-2, and it's going to be Art Devlin, Moose McCormick, and Al Bridwell for the home team. They, Fat Cards I recommend 100% for sure. And I was just going to say Brandon beat me to it. 1912 was released today, which is going to be a very cool season to play with. 65 for Devlin leading it off. That is going to be a possible home run off the pitcher's card, -10, and Dubuc. He gives up quite a bit, but that's needed a 1 to get out of here. So that'll be a fly ball to deep center field and played on the track by Paskert for the first out of the inning. Moose McCormick up. He has flown out and grounded out to second base. A 45 and 45 walk on a roll of 1-14, which it is. So Dubuc, one thing that plagued him in 1908 was wildness with his 121 whip. And McCormick down at first base for Bridwell, and McGraw feigned putting on the hit and run and tells Bridwell to be patient. It pays off with a 1-out walk. So pitcher spot coming up, runners on first and second, and Ames, as he is a below the Mendoza line hitter, he's going to try and lay down a bunt, and he does indeed get that down, and that is going to go to the first baseman. So runners go to second and third, and 3-4 on the putout. And that is the second sacrifice of the day for Ames. And the Giants now, base hit can bring in 2 and extend this lead to a probably insurmountable 7-2. Here comes a pitch, and Tenney, he's going to flame out as that's a ground or fly ball into right field. Hit hard, but right at the right fielder for the Reds, Dick Bayless, who pulls it in, and side is retired. So the Giants walk a couple. Strand 2 in scoring position as we head to the 6th inning. New York leads it 5-2 over the Reds, and it will be Mowry, Taskert, and McLean for the visitors. Yeah, 1912 series was awesome, and I'm still reading that book about it. I read too many books at the same time and do too much other stuff, but it's been a very, very intriguing and interesting read. So Ames, again, continuing on his horrible stuff. He's going to get bailed out there by the 1D20. As Mowry grounds that down to shortstop, Bridwell with the routine play. 6-3 on the putout, and that brings up Dode Paskert, the Red center fielder. Paskert today has singled and grounded out to third. Here comes a pitch, and 11. A lot of times that is a safe hit. This time it's going to be a ground ball down to second. And ranging into the hole to wheel that in is Herzog, and pegs him at first base. 2 down for Larry McLean, the catcher. McLean has both Reds runs batted in on a fielder's choice and a single. Here comes a pitch, and not this time. High heat, swing and a miss. So Red Ames has the K ball going. That is his 5th of the game, which if you're striking out almost 1 an inning in 1908, you're doing pretty good. So side is retired, 3 up, 3 down in the top of the 6th as we head to the bottom of the frame. Giants lead at 5-2. Herzog, Bresnahan, and the superstar Mike Donlin. 54, we go to the crazy chart. And bases empty, single to right field. Now roll versus E rating for the extra base. And in right field, for the Reds, and that's going to be Bayless, who has an error rating of 0. So we will save the roll, and that brings up the third place hitter, Roger Bresnahan. And Bresnahan, 2 for 3 RBI runs scored, also reached on an error. Here comes a pitch, and Bresnahan has it working today. That's going to be a single, base hit into right field, and first to third, fast and average, and Herzog is fast, so he gets to third base easily. Runners at the corner, nobody out, and the Reds going to get some action going in their bullpen. All right, the left-hander Billy Campbell has started to warm up as the Giants. No sign of letting up, and their best hitter at the plate. Here comes a pitch at 62, and Dubuc strikeout on a roll of 1-4. It's not. So that is going to be for the left-handed hitting Donlin, a ground ball down to first base, and runners at the corners. Runners advance, batter out. So that's going to bring home the 6th run of the day for New York. And moving down to second is Bresnahan. On the 3 unassisted put out for Donlin, and that brings up center fielder Cy Seymour. So 1 down, runner in scoring position, and here comes the pitch. That's going to be another potential strikeout. That is above the rating. So for the left-handed hitter, that is going to be another ground ball down to first base, and a runner at second base, he's going to advance. So 2 down, a runner 90 feet away, the 7th run of the ball game for the Giants, and Art Devlin itching to bring him home, 26, and that's going to be a single against a left-hander. Unfortunately, he is not. So that's a routine fly ball to center field that Paskert puts away. So the Giants get 2 hits in a run, and we're through 6. It's New York 6 and Cincinnati 2. The Reds running out of time against Red Ames. Yes, beer is half price at concessions if you hit the like button, guys. So who doesn't like half price beer? Jean Dubuc, and we're gonna pull him. I think he has outlived his usefulness in this game. So Campbell will be the new pitcher for the Reds. And our pinch hitter will be John Gansel. These are very nice cards, by the way. Not quite as thick as a payoff pitch, but still very good quality. Nice gloss finish to them. Okay, there's Campbell's hitting card. All right, we are ready to go. As Dubuc gets the early shower. And Gansel looks to start off the 7th inning with a little bit of magic. 31, and that's going to be a single off of Ames' card. So the Reds looking to pull back into this, and they have a base runner to start it off. Back to the top of the order, runner on first base, and the batter will be Dick Bayless. And Bayless today has not fared well at all against Ames. He is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Let's see if he can get something done here. Here comes a pitch, 15, and no. And with the X on the card, if it's a ground ball, it's going to be an automatic double play. And I pulled the wrong card, excuse me. Ground ball down to shortstop, and that will indeed be a 6-4-3 double play. So the Ides of April continue for Bayless, as he has done absolutely nothing at the plate today except give the Reds misery. It's 2 down for Miller Huggins. And Miller Huggins, 64. That's going to go off of Ames' card. Swing and a miss. And second time Miller's gone down on strikes today. So the Reds waste a leadoff single. Thanks to the rather incompetent batting of Mr. Dick Bayless, we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. 7th inning stretch time. It's going to be McCormick, Bridwell, and Ames. And no 7th inning fun fact. This was a last-minute game, so I didn't have time to put one together. And possible hit by pitch by McCormick. Instead, that will be a fly ball into left field that Bescher puts away. 1 down to start the 7th. Yeah, that's the cool thing about this game too, Mouse, is 100. Well, now with 1912, 104 seasons released already by Greg, which is absolutely insane. But more seasons than I will ever be able to get to. So 65, that's going to be an out by Bridwell. And Bridwell is going to drive that the opposite way into right field. And taken care of out there with limited action is Bayless, who just finished getting insulted by me due to his poor plate performance as Red Ames the batter, 2 down. 34, and that's going to come off of Campbell's card, and I did not roll for Campbell's stuff. Damn it, I always do that. 4, Campbell's going to have A stuff, so I just helped him there. 34, except that's going to be a single anyway. So Red Ames looking to help himself, a 2-out single as we get back to the top of the order for Fred Tenney. Tenney, the Giants' first baseman, is 0 for 4. He has flown out all 4 times, and not this time as he gets a hold of that 5, and that's going to be a double. So Tenney drives that into center field. First to home scores if a weak or average arm, and Paskert out in center field. He is a strong arm, so he's going to hold Ames to third base. But the Giants, once again, looking to do some damage here in the 7th inning. Runners at second, third, 2 down. Buck Herzog up. And 31, that's not going to get it done by Campbell as Herzog drives that into center field. And second to home, we're going to have an assist chance. And not good in center field is Pasker. He has a strong 6-rated arm. So coming in to score is Ames, and Pasker comes up throwing, and he easily guns down Tenney, who ran through a stop sign at third base, 8-2 on the putout. But getting credit for an RBI is Buck Herzog as the Giants stretch their lead to 7-2 as they collect 3 hits in a run this inning. As we're heading to the top of the 8th inning, Cincinnati looking for a late inning rally. Yeah, just catching up with the chat. Fargiel was going to buy every season. Yeah, I was exactly thinking of that when I said 104 seasons now. And Robert, if you have that much money to get all 104, you can probably buy a dozen or so for me too, buddy. Small tidbit, Reds outfielder Dick Bayless died in a copper mine explosion in New Mexico, 1920. Cool. So Brandon Baker coming through with my 7th inning fun fact for me. Thank you very much. And as usual with my fun facts, it has a gruesome ending. So thanks for sharing that. 1912. Yeah, you're doing a lot. You're closing in too. Got 2 inside pitch replays going on now, if I remember correctly. And an inside pitch is a good game. Like I said, the only thing for me that ever hangs me up is a base running, which is why I made that chart. And I think I'm going to do a fight in the morning of the featherweight preview set, but I think I'll do an inside pitch game on Saturday for my 1980 replay, or not replay. I'm just playing random games basically, but all right, we are ready to go. And Hans Lopert, 63, and Lopert, he's going to get struck out. So strikeout number 7 for Red Ames, as that brings up Bob Bescher, the cleanup hitter. Bescher 0 for 3. He's also been a strikeout victim once. 54, and off the crazy chart. Bases empty, go to Wilder chart, and Wilder chart down here. Bases empty, foul pop-up behind the plate, catcher fighting it, roll a 1D20 versus E rating to see if he drops it. Batter gets another chance. All right, so E rating for the catcher Bresnahan for the Giants is a 1. So pretty safe bet. And he bobbles that, barely hangs on, rolling a 2. So that's going to be a foul out for Bescher. That brings up Dick Hoblitzel, Ames. It's going to be a 23, and Hoblitzel swing and a miss. So 2 more strikeouts this inning. Ames now has 8 for the ball game, which is very much Nolan Ryan totals for the dead ball era. As we head to the bottom of the 8th, New York comfortably in front 7-2. It's going to be Bresnahan, Donlin, and Seymour. Here we go. And Bresnahan, he's going to draw an out, and that's a fly ball into left field. Bob Bescher with a put out, 1 down. Mike Donlin. And Donlin probably would have been a Hall of Famer. He was definitely as good as any batter in the first decade of the 20th century. However, he just did not have a lengthy career, kind of flamed out. 16 here, and that's going to be an out. A ground ball down to second base, so a routine play at second for Miller Huggins. And Giants, 2 outs here in the 8th. Cy Seymour, the batter. And DL John, 44444, has joined us. Thursday Night Baseball, dead ball style. Yes, sir. Welcome. 45 to Cy Seymour, and that's going to come off of Campbell's card, and that's going to be an out. And it'll be a ground ball down to third base, and Mowry charging in, makes a long throw, and Side is retired. 3 up, 3 down go the Giants in the 8th. We are heading to Last Chance City for the Reds, trailing 7-2 as Ames looking to get the complete game. It's going to be Mowry, Dode, Paskert, and McLean, then the pitcher spot if we get that far. So Ames, 42, and we might get that far indeed. That's going to be a leadoff walk for Mowry. That brings up Dode Paskert. Paskert today, he is 1 for 3, single back in the second inning. Here comes a pitch, and Paskert, that is going to be 15, and that is over the center fielder's head, going all the way to the ball, and coming around third to score is Mowry. Paskert rounding second. Here comes a throw, the slide, and he is safe with a triple, and that pushes the Reds 1 run closer, 7-3. And the Reds are going to have another pinch hitter start to get ready with the pitcher spot up due next after Larry McLean. So runner on third base, still no action in the Giants bullpen. Here comes the pitch, and 51, a defensive check. And error check on the second baseman, which is Herzog, and he has an error rating of 20. He is absolutely horrible. So that's going to be an error, and coming in to score an unearned run, Giants' first error of the game, is Paskert from third. And E4 for McLean, and we're going to have a pinch hitter now for Billy Campbell. And that was going to be Dick Egan. So Egan, normally the Reds' starting second baseman, had the day off today, but called in to pinch hit. So nobody out, runner at first base. Ames starting to struggle a little bit, 63, but not with Egan, as the fastball, strikeout number 9, swing and a miss. So Egan goes back to enjoy the rest of his day off after the abysmal failure. 1 down, runner at first base. And top of the order, Dick Bayless, victim of a copper mine accident. And Bayless is going to single. And that is going to be a base hit to center field. If 1 out, an assist chance. And there is indeed 1 out. So in center field for the Giants, and that is not probably going to be good, as Cy Seymour has a strong 6. And going to third, here comes the throw. And gunned down at third base is Larry McLean, 2 down. So, let me make sure I did that right. Okay, yeah. All right, 2 down, runner on first base, and Miller Huggins, the batter. Huggins looking to extend things, 66, and that is going to be 19. That will be a single. So with 2 outs, first to third, that's going to be station to station, and the Reds are not going away. And now in the bullpen for the Giants, Christy Mathewson hurriedly begins to warm up, as they often brought their aces in relief back in those days. The Reds have cut this lead to 7-4 now and looking to get more with 2 on. Hans Loper, the batter. Here comes a pitch for Ames, and 33. Ames is falling apart. He's got to face 1 more batter, and that's going to be a base hit to right field. Second to home scores if a fast runner. And at second base, Bayless is an average runner, so they're going to go station to station again. So bases loaded, one down, and Ames has to face one more batter before Mathewson can come in. Bob Bescher can tighten things up with one swing of the bat, 11, and that's going to be 19. That will be an out. So Giant infield at double play depth. That's going to be a ground ball to the pitcher. Bases loaded, and that's going to be a fielder's choice at home, a pitcher arm of a W, which Ames is average. So that's going to be a force out at home plate. So 1-3 and a fielder's choice for Bescher. 2 down now, and with Ames sucking gas, they're going to let him try and get the complete game, 35, and 35 in the bad column, and that's a bad choice. That's a single. And that is going to be into center field, second to home, 2 outs, scores. So we're going to get 2 runs home on that. Coming in to score is Huggins and also Lopert. And it is now, all of a sudden, 7-6. Going over to third base is Bescher. And the Reds have batted around, and that's going to bring Christy Mathewson in from the bullpen, as he's going to try and save this for Ames, as the Giants now with a 1-run lead, 1 out to get. And that 1 out is Mike Mowry, who led this inning off. So Christy Mathewson takes his warm-up pitches, talks to Bresnahan, gets a nod from McGraw, and here comes the pitch, and 12, that's going to do it. Big 6 with a big save, and a ground ball down to third base. Coming in, charging that is the third baseman, Art Devlin. Strong arm to Tenney, and the side is retired finally. So the Reds get 4 runs on 3, 4, 5 hits. And they make it a close ball game, but not enough. Your final score, the New York Giants, who needed to sweep this doubleheader to stay a half game back of the Cubs, win at 7-6. Our final line score for the Reds, 6 runs on 11 hits, and 2 errors. And for the Giants, 7 runs on 12 hits, and they had 1 error. So winning pitcher in this barely is going to be Red Ames, Christy Mathewson with the save. Our offensive player of the game for the Giants, it's got to be Buck Herzog, the Giants second baseman. He went a stellar 4 for 4 with all singles, had a stolen base, 2 ribbies, and 3 runs scored. So Buck Herzog, our player of the game. And a shaky but still winning effort by Red Ames, and that's going to do it. So the Giants, with this 7-6 win, stay a half game back of the Cubs, as the Cubs only have 6 games left to play in this 1908 season. The Giants have 9 to go, so they still have a chance to catch them, not have that playoff. So thanks to everyone for stopping by at the ballpark. Let's just catch up on the chat. Yeah, it was and whenever Brandon's here too, always we get a late rally by the Reds. So they made it close, fun game at the end. And Mathewson, 37 wins in 1908. It's hard for 2 pitchers to get that in today's game, Robert. Thank you very much, guys, for stopping in. And, yeah, the last 15 minutes were actually the best of the ball game as the Giants led the whole way. So, hey, thanks a lot for stopping in, guys, and appreciate you. Have a great night. This is Anthony with Bleacher Bums Gaming, and stay young, keep rolling. And tomorrow morning, Glory Days boxing fight, it will be Barry McGuigan versus Danny Little Red Lopez featherweight preview battle, and that should be a slugfest. So hope you all have a great night. Thanks again for stopping by.